Good morning. We
Hello.
welcome to Conversations to Raise Vibrations. I am your host, Lisa Kelly, and I am always joined by the beautiful Elvira Hopper, pink and white. I think, we complement
Yeah.
each other in more ways than one. So, if you're joining us live, thank you. We love you. We love engaging in comments. So please put your comments in the comment section. If you've given StreamYard permission, it will share your name. Otherwise, it will just come up as Facebook user and we'll let you know. And if you're watching later, please hit hashtag replay and let us know what you love about this conversation. And as always, jump over to our YouTube channel and like, share, and subscribe. You never know. We were just chatting in the studio, and there are so many people. This is such great conversation that we have. Hey, Elvira, and
Mhm.
there's so many people that could use this to start their day. I know when I leave these conversations, I'm on a high all day long, right? And I
Yeah,
mean,
me
that's the
too.
whole point of it, right? Conversations to raise vibrations. And there's so much darkness in the world that why not? It's what we perceive, what we choose to look at, right?
Yeah.
So this is what we hope to start everybody's day with. So, share away. And if there's somebody, a woman, over 40 who's not in the group, invite her to the group if you think she could use this. Or again, share the YouTube channel. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yay.
we're going to start with a beautiful, beautiful card, Elvira, if you want
All
to
right.
share that
Thank
card.
you, Lisa. So this is the card that we pulled on Monday night, where we did our leap into your new life, make the rest of your life the best of your life. And we are so blessed and honored to be serving these incredible women that are, they truly know they're here for more, and they're just up leveling, and they're using our container as a way to get there. And it's so beautiful witnessing them. And oh my gosh, I cry every time because it's just
Beautiful.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
And so we pulled this card, and Lisa was really inspired to for me to share it. So I'm going to share it. It's number 21, which is a 3 if you follow numerology, very sacred number. And here it is. It's polish your mirror for perfect clarity.
Mm.
Isn't that beautiful? You got that spiral in the middle, which is very sacred. All right, so I'm going to read it. Everything you see around you is a personal, sorry, everything you see around you is a perfect reflection of where you are on your path. Yes, everything. Our material universe is designed to be a symbolic likeness of what is created on a spiritual plane. Your relationships are a way to see into this mirror. Think of the relationships you cherish and characteristics you adore in certain people, such as your heroes and mentors. The good news is that these same aspects are in you as your golden shadow. The reverse of this is also true. The most difficult aspects of certain people are the aspects of yourself that you haven't embraced or seen fully. This card calls for you to become more honest, for your actions and words to always reflect your true self.
Mm.
By doing so, you become more of a clear mirror, and your relationships will reflect even more peace, joy, and contentment. Remember as well that relationships are not just with other people, they are with food, money, alcohol, work. I'm going to add another one, shopping. That was one of my
Mm.
old ones, etc. So the cosmic catalyst he asks you is, in what ways am I pleased with what my mirror is reflecting back in my life? And in what ways am I seeing turmoil, frustration, and chaos?
Mm.
So I invite you to answer that question. If you feel comfortable and vulnerable
Mhm.
to share it below, please do that. Then the activity is what he asks you to do in the cosmic checkbox. Make two lists, one of the characteristics of people you love, admire, and appreciate, and one of the characteristics of people who drive you crazy.
Mm.
Embrace and appreciate both lists, recognizing how all these aspects are also in you.
I love it.
Isn't that a great
I've been
card?
thinking about that card honestly since we jumped off Monday night at 9. I've been thinking about this card all week, and I've contemplated it. I talked to my mom about it, and it really is, if you want to look at it, and that's reflection, right? Thinking about it, doing the reflection. And it's really important to do that inner work and reflect if you're there. Um, or not. You can keep,
Hmm.
blaming other people, playing the victim that it's their fault. But it's always our work, right?
Yeah.
Always. I always think that's a great thing because it gives us
Yeah.
power. It gives
Yeah.
our power
Absolutely.
if we want to look at it. Blaming
Absolutely.
gives our power away, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I right now I'm going to sit with that card. I actually want you to take a picture of it and send it to me because I'm going to sit with that card
Oh,
um,
okay.
for a while.
I
Yeah.
actually sent it. I put it in our group, Lisa, the Leap into Your New Life group. Yeah, I
Okay,
did. I did. And if for some
perfect.
reason I didn't, let me know. But this also leads to what I just posted like 5 minutes before we jumped on this call. I just posted this on my Facebook because I love these cute little backgrounds that Facebook lets you use.
Yeah.
And this one today says, have the courage to do your hashtag inner work so you need not run away from your life through distractions and escapes.
Yeah.
You are worth it.
Yeah.
Because you see, this is what happens, talking about relationships with food, with alcohol, with money, with shopping. Like these are all things that when we don't do our inner work, we escape through these
Yes.
distractions, these numbing out, things that allow us to put on weight, become alcoholics, relationships split up, we go broke because we're overspending, right? These are all those escapes are essentially indications that there's trauma to heal. And when we do that inner work, we can heal the trauma so that we reduce the drama in our lives. That's how I like to describe it. Did you
Yeah.
resonate with that, Lisa?
Love that. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And up until, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, I was doing all of that stuff, right? I was,
Yeah.
looking for a way out. I didn't know any different, I'll say. And that's
You don't know
just
what you don't know.
no,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
that's oftentimes what happens today with people is they don't know, or they're seeking outside validation. And my
Yeah.
mom and I were talking, everything you need is right there inside of you if you
Yeah.
can just sit in that stillness and listen.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
you can just sit, and I said this Monday night, if you can just, as soon as you feel your thoughts running towards, I got to do this, I got to do that, or blaming or judging, or,
Mhm.
going into that numbing out, if you can catch yourself, right?
Yeah.
Or it takes over your whole body. And all you need to do is be in the peace, be in the moment, right?
Yeah.
Look at, five things around you if you can, that you can see, hear, touch, taste, smell. Engage the senses as much as you can. You can't always taste and smell or whatever, but engage as many as you can to bring you back into the present moment,
Mhm.
because that's all you need to be, right? Like we
Yeah.
talked about on Monday night, anxiety is the future, depression is the past. And if you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. And
Yeah.
my mom always says, get off the train, get off,
Mhm.
firing down the station, get off. You don't need to keep going out. Yeah, she uses that analogy when I get like into the fear mode of the future.
Yeah.
Um, and stay out of the how, right? We
Yeah.
talked about that,
Yeah.
staying in the how, right? And just being in that present moment of peace and understanding that everything that is showing up in your life is exactly what's happening inside.
Yeah.
There's
It's a
somebody you're,
mirror. Mirror.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
mirror.
Yeah.
If there's someone you're blaming, if there's somebody, or something in your life that isn't going well, then we would invite you to just sit still and look within. And maybe there's just something you need to take from it. Maybe it's a learning piece, right?
Yeah.
Grow through what you're going through, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a quick learning that you need to get. And as soon as you get it, things around you shift and change,
Yeah.
right? Always, we would always encourage you um, to get into a high vibration mode as often as you can.
Mhm.
We're human, and this is what my mom and I talked about. We're human. We're human beings, right? So it's not going to happen 24 hours, 365 days of the year. We get it. There's things that you go through that, maybe keep us a little bit feeling down. But
Mhm.
then we'd invite you to sit with that. Sit
Yeah.
with that place of feeling down, of feeling, whatever it is you're feeling. Just sit
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
That's when you really want to hold space for it and not numb out with all
Yeah.
those things that you're
Exactly. Because
right?
most people will numb out. They're going to feel uncomfortable and they're just going to go to a way of escaping. That's what
Exactly.
most of humanity will do. However, there's those of us that want to live consciously, that want to look at our feelings and examine, why am I feeling this way? And, that person did that thing, and it really hurt me. And, you know, can you sit with a journal and maybe, not run away with a big tub of ice cream? Can you sit with a journal and think about, like, okay, that person irritated me. When was the first time I remember feeling that way? This is a really good exercise.
What? Go with
Yeah,
this. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
good.
So when was the first time that I remember feeling like this? Like I felt really, really disrespected, right? And you just sit with a journal and you just start writing out, like automatic writing. And just, I remember being a little girl, and I remember being on, the schoolyard, and those two girls ran away laughing, saying, "You can't play with us." Maybe that was grade 1 or something,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And you feel the feelings again, right? Like, yeah, I felt rejected, I felt disrespected. Like you sort of go in and you think about the first time you went through that, because that caused trauma. Like those girls, there's trauma with a capital T, and then there's trauma with a little t, right? So those kind of things are little traumas, little micro traumas that we experience,
mhm,
that then allow us to not stand in our light. And we have these stories that we tell ourselves about ourselves. But
mhm.
if we examine those stories, and this is just one tool that you can use, is a journal. Sit with it. Think about the first time you felt that way. Start writing about it. Oh my God, I remember thinking, those stupid little girls, and they were my friends the day before, but then the day after they weren't. Typical stuff little girls do, right? And I remember feeling so scared and so sad, and like, go back to those feelings and feel them, because then when you feel them, you can heal them.
Yeah,
It's like air in a balloon. Once you let the air out of a helium balloon, what does it do?
yeah,
It drops down. And that's what our feelings are. They're basically air in that balloon that
yeah.
keeps you up here, and it affects you for the rest of your life. So we all are walking around with all these little, like, micro traumas in us that we've experienced. Maybe some have experienced bigger trauma. So it becomes our job to unpack and to
Mhm.
really connect to the divinity of who we are. We are perfect whole beings that are here for a unique purpose. But unless we're doing that inner work, it's going to be hard to connect with our perfect whole being self, right? You resonate?
I love it. I love it. And we just have Facebook user. Sorry, it doesn't say your name. Girls too often perpetuate social exclusion, bullying, causing trauma like that. I
Yeah,
can, I did that, learned from it when it happened to me too. Ah,
yeah,
so,
yeah.
so true.
Yeah. Oh, I've
100,
been on both sides. I've been on both sides.
me too,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah,
And
yeah,
we learn from both sides, right?
yeah,
If we're open and ready, we'll learn from both sides of it. And yeah, I mean, forgiveness is a big thing. Forgiveness of ourselves and forgiveness of those around us, right?
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I would love for you to share that story about the client that just jumped on with you.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. So right now we have, our card is still open. The Love Your Vibe transformation is starting up again in June. We've got six mentors in total that are doing it. Eleanor and 5 new mentors. So some of you know about this system, but it's, if you're curious, elvirahopper.com/bundle. And so this woman, I spoke at an event last Monday, and this is a woman I knew, and she, we were nice enough to each other. But then when I spoke at this event, like, so what I do is I energetically go to places where I know I'm meant to share a message, because there's at least one person that's
Yeah,
meant to hear it, and spirit just guides me where I'm supposed to go. Well, that night I was meant to actually meet about 3 or 4 people that came up to me, some of them in tears, going, "Oh my God, I was so meant to hear your message tonight." And she was one, not in tears, but she said, "Elvira, I got to talk to you." And so this is a woman I knew, and she sold jewelry, and I made jewelry, so we had that connection. And anyway, we ended up having a chat the other day, and it was fascinating because she realized that she's meant to do this Love Your Vibe transformation, and then she would like to use it to help others, like when she graduates, right? So, because she's got a really powerful story. But at the end, when she said, "Yeah, Elvira, this looks really great. Let me check out your offer." So I sent her the link. afterwards. But she said, Elvira, can I be really honest with you? I said, yeah, of course. And she said, when I first started knowing you, like you really irritated me. And I was like, oh, okay. I kind of sensed that actually, because I remembered how she would look at me kind of funny, right? And she goes, but I realize now because I've become a Reiki practitioner that you were bothering me because I was at a low vibration and you were much higher and I didn't see you. I couldn't see you, right? It was like you reflected to me something I wasn't. I wasn't
Yes.
this high vibration being. But since I've done my Reiki and I've raised in vibration, now I totally see you. And
Yes.
now you don't irritate me. And in fact, she joined us, right? So it's really, really cool. She was very vulnerable to share that. And I was vulnerable to say, yeah, I picked it up too. But what was I going to do? Right. That's how you saw me. So
So
here's what
good.
I want people to realize is that first of all, when people show up a certain way around you, it's not your fault. It's
Yes.
their perception of you, right? So we either trigger the shadow in someone or their golden shadow. So when people think I'm fabulous and wonderful and beautiful, it's because I'm reflecting to them what's in them,
Yes.
the golden side of themselves. But when they're irritated with me, it's like, well, I can't be at that vibration, so I'm just going to reject her. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
this is what we do as humans, right? So do you resonate?
I love it. I love it. And just what you said there is when so when she was, saying about you, Alvar, you really bothered me back then. There was something in her she needed to look at, right?
Yeah,
And she
yeah.
wasn't quite ready. We're not, you know,
No,
we talked about this Monday night too, right? Everything happens at the exact moment in time. Like one of our girls in our program said, "Oh, why didn't I know this 20 years ago?" Because you weren't meant to know
you were
that.
meant to.
You were meant to go through these little things that you went through until you were ready. And now
Yeah.
divine spirit says, okay, you're ready. You're ready to
Mhm.
do the work. You're ready to look at yourself. You're ready to do the stuff. You're
Yeah,
ready to up level. And that's that woman, right? She
yeah.
went through her energetic practice of being a Reiki practitioner
Mhm.
and she up leveled her vibrations. And
Yeah.
it's not to say when we talk about this, you guys, that oh, they're down lower, they're lower than you, or they're lower than us.
No,
That's not what that means.
no.
It vibrations just simply mean energetic vibrations out in the world,
Yeah,
right? Radio frequencies, we give off frequency, we give off a vibration, and it's whatever we're giving off in the
yeah,
moment,
yeah.
right? Could be a really bad mood, you're giving off, low vibrations. Could be up level. This morning I was journaling. I went on a gratitude rampage of appreciation this morning in my journal.
Mm,
And I said, this is what I'm going to choose to look at. This is what I'm going to do. And it was just the little things. And I just journaled about
yeah.
just feeling grateful. And my husband started a conversation that was going down a path. And I said, no, I'm not going there. And I said, look at that robin out there. And I just truly, because this is the work that we're
Yeah,
talking about. Because
yeah,
easy to go down a rabbit hole of a different comfort. It's so easy to do that. It's everywhere. You just pull
yeah.
up social media and it's everywhere.
That's an
But
escape too, right? Like people escape through talking about these like rabbit hole things that bring our vibration down.
yes,
And I love that you were able to shift, flip the script and say,
yep,
I'm going to focus on what's good. And look at that beautiful robin. And it's so funny. We had a really cute robin this morning, and I was singing about my little robin song this morning. They're out. They're out. Yeah.
I know I love them. I love
Yeah.
watching animals outside. So, it's whatever you choose to look at.
Yeah.
And, this woman now is choosing to look at you in a completely different light because she can.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's, when
She's done
someone,
her inner work.
yeah,
She became a Reiki practitioner. She realized that their life was more than just feeling like crap. She realized that she can help herself with Reiki and then help others.
yeah,
And when you do Reiki, your life really transforms. This is one of the modalities when I talk about all modalities matter in the miracle magnet movement. This is a modality that can raise our vibration, right? You have yours, I have mine, this woman has that. And they all matter. They all
yeah.
can raise our vibrations.
I agree. And you know what I want to say too is that's kind of what we would term the easier of the relationships, let's say, because she didn't have to see you for I don't know when the last time you saw
Yeah.
her. She doesn't it's not like a daily occurrence.
Yeah.
So what about those people that are in your life where you have
Mm.
to see every day? And how do you stay up in a vibration because you don't have to match theirs. It, just
Yeah,
because your husband, your spouse, your child, whoever you're with or living with is in a bad mood, you don't have to match that vibration.
exactly.
I read the quote yesterday, I don't have it on me, but from Abraham Hicks, and it was just about that. Just
Mm,
because somebody in your household is living in a lower vibration doesn't mean you have to, and it doesn't mean you have to pick it up either,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
It, like, this becomes really, a lot of work. How do you
yeah,
stay in the vibration of staying up here and not going down to their level? Because
yeah.
you want them to meet you at your level,
Either they
right?
meet you or they leave because they're going to be so irritated by you.
Right.
So this is what people do in our lives. They either meet us or they exit. I had two best friends of almost 40 years that couldn't meet me, so they left, and I love them from a distance.
Yeah. And you know what I think too is this just came to me now, this download. I think this is where it becomes extremely important for us as light workers to stay up here, to
Yeah,
stay in the
yeah.
light, so that they can, our light shines so brightly that they don't have a choice but to
They
be
don't have a
there.
choice.
Even
Yeah,
if it's your boy, especially if it's your child, right? Like
yeah,
you're not going to leave your child, and your spouse. Like people often leave their spouse too often. I mean,
yeah,
and now that being said, if there's abuse or anything, let me clarify that.
yeah,
Then yes, that's not acceptable.
yeah,
That was first marriage. It was extremely
yeah,
abusive, narcissistic, and I left. So I'm
yeah,
not suggesting that. But if everybody goes through things in their life, right? So if they're going through something, I'm speaking specifically about my spouse, if I may,
yeah.
having a lot of like health, like hip, back, and it's creating like lack of work for him, and
Hmm.
very frustrating for him.
Yeah,
And so because he wants to feel useful, so
yeah,
while he's feeling frustrated, and I can feel that from him, it becomes, doesn't mean I'm going to walk out the door and leave him because he's in that state. Although I might feel like it sometimes.
if we're gonna be real honest, yeah.
Yeah, I think where it really, my work comes in as a light worker is to
Hmm.
stay up. I really
Yeah,
feel, and I just got that message now.
yeah,
And that
I
was a
love it.
message, I have to tell you, from a question I asked just before I jumped on here about this situation, and it just came to me.
Oh my
So
God, I love it. See how it
it just
works?
came to me. Yeah, I think that. So, and that, listen, ladies, that is work because it's easy, right, to go, oh, fuck you, and
Yeah,
like it's
yeah,
easier. So then I came in here, did a meditation, and
yeah,
just question, and that was the answer. Oh, I just feel so good.
yeah.
So I just knew that about me.
Yay, Lisa.
I got
Yay.
that just came, so I felt really good about that. Thank you for
Oh, so good.
allowing me to get that out, Elvira.
Oh, you know what? When we come together, it's always magic, Lisa. And now even more so because we are leading in this beautiful group that we're doing the Leap Into Your New Life 3-month program. That this is our beta flight, and I can't wait to continue doing this with you for as long as you want to do it because
Oh,
it is so beautiful to take, to be with your magic, all your expertise. Like I look up to you as this rock star teacher, and you know so many things about NLP and things that I've touched on, because I do hypnosis as well, but you know so much more about it, and I learned so much from you, and to be able to share my magic as well, which you really honor and respect, and for us to be 1 + 1 = 11, right?
I,
We serve these women in this way. So yeah, so there's all these different ways of doing the inner work, and you and I are one way of doing the inner work. My team facilitates another way of doing the inner work. There's other systems out there. There's other coaches. There's other leaders, and you have to gravitate towards who you
yeah,
gravitate towards, and do what feels in alignment for you. And
yes.
so it is such a privilege to walk this path with you, Lisa, to have these conversations and then be able to serve women one on one, more specifically with what they're dealing with, as opposed to just, the YouTube show. But
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I mean, when I come off that when I come away from this, I want to high five with you, just from your energy, your vibration, and of course the conversations we have. And then Monday night, oh my gosh, I'm just getting chills again thinking about it. So, if you're listening to this and you think, what does that leap into your new life? Like I want to be in that community. Don't worry, we've got another one that
Yeah.
you can join us on, because we are going to keep doing it, because it's
Yeah.
just so amazing, and we
So
are getting
amazing.
such great feedback. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, stay tuned. Stay
Yeah,
tuned.
the women are so grateful. Like we do these little checkouts, and the women always talk about how grateful they are to be part of this community and to have us as leaders.
Yeah,
And it is just like it makes me cry because I'm just so grateful that we get to do this together, Lisa. And it's more fun to do things together, right? Like the lone wolf syndrome is actually a trauma response, and my coach AG speaks to this. People that are light and shadow workers on their own, and they just have this one candle, and they hey, work with me, pick me, whatever, but they're not willing to join a group of people that's doing this work, a collective, right? Like that's what we have in my community. We have a collective of people that each have their own candles, but they brought them together, and we have a big giant flame, so we can serve more people, because they find us. A big giant flame is brighter than one little candle. And you and I as well, Lisa, coming together to do this versus you doing a program you're on your own, or me doing it on my own. We come together, we're more powerful together. 1 + 1 = 11. and
yeah,
and I'll be honest, I want to do very little on my own for the rest of my life. Like, yes, I do have my one-on-one coaching, and
yeah,
I'm a speaker and whatever, but it's way more fun to lock arms with like-hearted light and shadow workers, and we get to have fun, and we get to heal, we get to support others on their journeys. And you and I are just an example of what's possible,
yeah.
where
I love
women
it.
honor each other, and we're not in competition, we're in collaboration and co-creation to serve humanity, and that's
Yeah,
what we're doing.
I love it. I couldn't agree more. And all we ask is that if you haven't yet started, start to do your inner work, because you will
Yeah.
notice a huge transformation in your life for the better, and you
Yeah.
will up level, and everything around you will up level, and you will just feel that immense
Yeah.
joy that we're meant to live in. Joy.
Yeah.
That's Yeah,
Yeah, I love
beautiful.
it. And your relationships change. Your relationship change because you are a different person. And I used to struggle with my mom so much. I had to go to 2 years of therapy for mommy issues. And I just posted this last night. Can I read it to you, Lisa? I just posted this, and it got a lot of responses because I think it touched some hearts. But it talks about doing the inner work, right? Like, I mean, I did the inner work, not my mother, but one person doing the inner work can transform. So here's what I wrote. And here's my fun little picture that went along with it. I just want to share that.
Well, oh, cute. All
Isn't that
minds
cute?
are right. So
Yes,
when
all minds are joined. Exactly. So,
oh,
so it's my beloved 84-year-old mama looked me straight in the eyes at Swiss Chalet, and that's a restaurant here in Canada, on Mother's Day, and told me that I was truly beautiful. This is not typical behavior from her. I would have killed to hear those words from her when I was growing up. However, looking back, I realized that I was too needy as a child, and I believe that energetically I pushed her away.
mm,
Today, I expect nothing from her. I simply accept her exactly as she is.
yeah,
I also love her more than life itself.
yeah,
I have witnessed in myself and others that it is pure magic and miracles when we heal our trauma and show up more aligned, empowered, and self validating in our key relationships. They don't change, but we change, and it can transform our relationship. Honestly, there is no better investment than in your inner work. So, yeah,
I
isn't that
love
kind of cool?
I love it. That's such a beautiful, yeah. And you and I talk about this with our moms, and it's just pure acceptance when you just,
Acceptance.
and that's
Not
what it
wanting to change them,
is.
not complaining about them. When I was a kid, oh my God, she wasn't the mother I wanted. She wasn't like the warm and fuzzy mother. She was tough, and she did things her way, and that was her upbringing that made her that way. She had a mother that lost her mother at 10 years old. She
Mm,
didn't know how to mother, so my mother did the best she could. However, it wasn't enough for me. I was very demanding and needy as a child, and I realized Of course she backed away from me. But now that I validate myself, now that I've done the inner work and I love myself, she reflects her feelings, which are so loving. Like, you're so beautiful. And I'm like, thank you, mom. You're really beautiful too, right? And and you know, and she doesn't have that relationship with my brother, unfortunately, because my brother hasn't done the inner work. So they still trigger each other because
Yeah.
she hasn't done her work, he hasn't done his work. They trigger each other. But I've done my work and she hasn't, and it's still
It's
beautiful. So this is the power of the inner work.
there. All minds are joined. That's it right there. So you healed your mind. So you know what? In turn, the relationship completely shifted.
Yeah, yeah.
So beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. That was so beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh, what a beautiful, another beautiful conversation, another beautiful way to go out into the Wednesday and enjoy the rest of the week. Here in Canada, a long weekend. So, whatever it is you're doing, we wish you well. We hope you have a joy-filled day, joy-filled week, and keep those vibrations high. And until next Wednesday, we'll see you again. Bye for now.
Mm.
3, 2,